Hi, my name is Jo Schifrin. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Bethesda, which is County District 1 and State District 16. I'm the co-chair of the Montgomery County Community Building and Education Team and a member of the Montgomery County Leadership Council. In this video, we will discuss statewide ballot questions and some key local ones. In the 2022 general election, there will be 5 Maryland statewide ballot questions. I'm not going to go into detail on every ballot question, but the accompanying slides will have resources with more information. Question 1 changes the name of Maryland's appellate courts. Question 2 adds to the eligibility requirements to serve as a senator or a delegate to the Maryland General Assembly by requiring a person to have maintained a primary residency in the district that the person has been chosen to represent. Question 3 authorizes the state legislature to enact a bill that raises the bar for the cost of a civil proceeding to be at least $25,000 before a case is eligible for a jury trial. Question 4 legalizes the possession and use of cannabis in certain circumstances. The state is using the term cannabis rather than marijuana because cannabis is more scientific and doesn't have the historically racist connotations of the term marijuana. This ballot question would allow an individual who is at least 21 years of age to possess and use small amounts of cannabis beginning July 1st, 2023. It also directs the state legislature to pass a law for the use, distribution, regulation, and taxation of cannabis. The criminalization of cannabis has long contributed to racial injustices in which Black Marylanders are disproportionately incarcerated and policed. At the same time, we know that passing this ballot question, which deals with legalization but does not address racial equity, is not enough. Maryland will need additional legislation for reparations to Black communities that have been decimated by cannabis criminalization. Question 5 repeals county elections of Howard County Orphans Court judges and instead requires the Howard County Circuit Court judges to sit as the Orphans Court for Howard County. In addition to these statewide ballot questions, there are ballot questions for each county and city. While we won't address all of these, we want to highlight 2 ballot questions that Jews United for Justice is supporting. In Howard County, JUFJ is supporting the passage of ballot question A, also known as the Liberty Act. This act limits police cooperation with federal immigration law, like reporting immigrant members of our community to ICE. It also protects anyone using county services from being questioned about their immigration status. In Baltimore City, JUFJ is supporting the passage of ballot question H, a ballot measure that could put the Baltimore Police Department under the city's control for the first time since the mid-1800s. Judaism's ethic of mutual care calls us to hold police accountable to the people, which is why JUFJ and our partners have been calling for local police control in Baltimore, the only city in Maryland that doesn't oversee its own police department. If you live in Howard County or Baltimore City, we encourage you to pay special attention to these ballot questions. Ballot questions often seem dry or so steeped in policy details that they're difficult to understand. But hugely consequential things can be determined by ballot questions, so it's important to educate yourself and vote. One of the 2018 ballot questions, for instance, concerned whether or not prospective voters could register to vote on election day itself. This may seem small, but when we think about voting rights and defending democracy, this ballot question had huge ramifications. When this ballot question passed in 2018, It made voting more convenient and expanded who has voting access in Maryland. In the next video, Anita and Mark will talk about getting involved, staying informed, and the key information you need to vote in this important election.